Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. Having some coffee this morning. Have a chat with you guys here, talking a little bit about just the uncertainty in our world that I feel we didn't have 25 years ago. There was problems and stuff, but now it just seems like any event has the potential to cascade into something worse. And it's been a pretty crazy 24 hours. It is Saturday morning, the 28th of September today, and we got more war in the Middle East. We've had the hurricane that came up through Florida and up into the southeastern states that we still don't know the 100% of the extent of the damage. All of that. I follow several power outage trackers online, and not for just here in Michigan, but for the whole country. And there is just a lot of people out of power this morning because of that storm. And then, there's a possibility of that longshoreman strike where it's going to shut down the ports on the East Coast and the Gulf of Mexico. All these things have the potential to cause even more chaos down the road. And then they're all kind of interrelated, and that's why I've always said, that catastrophic disruption of the supply lines is one of the main things that I prep for, because working in sort of the supply chain my entire career, I know how fragile things were when times were good. There was disruptions for many different reasons over the years. I've seen panic buying, and not just the average stuff that got panic bought back in 2020, but I've seen it in the firearms industry for a long time already. People panic buy this or that particular item, and there's just more chaos now, and things have changed to a point where I think most people don't have a lot of faith in any type of leadership to get ourselves out of these things. And then it falls back onto us, onto the individual, that we have a certain amount of resiliency in our lives and our preparedness. And it's not just geopolitical things. There's infrastructure failures. There's just so many moving parts in our world that can disrupt things. Communications, telecoms, the weather. Touch base on the weather here. Our garden's more or less wrapped up, except for a couple of things. I got a second crop of potatoes in. They're still growing, and we're still getting tomatoes and peppers. Pretty much everything else we've harvested and put up what we're going to put up for the year. And I'll keep harvesting what I can until the first frost. But when I was a kid growing up, my mom said you always want to make sure you got everything done in the garden by the 15th of September. Because anything after the 15th of September, you could get a hard killing frost. And I remember hard killing frost at the end of September when I was a kid growing up. But now our hard frost usually doesn't come until around the 1st of November. So our growing season has shifted and has moved more or less in my lifetime. You can plant a second crop of potatoes here in Michigan. That would have never been done when I was a kid, just because how the growing seasons have changed here. And again, things are just more chaotic, and the potential exists on any given event for that to cascade and get into something worse. So, and again, it's going to be a crazy the week ahead. There's a lot of potential problems in the world, and I'm not sure what the answer is to all of it, other than individual people do the best they can to make their lives more resilient. Have some food put up, have a plan to either find water or clean water or filter water, make sure you got your shelter squared away. And another thing, kind of the economics of preparedness. And some people talk about it, but it's important to be making money if you can, when you can, because the time might come. The economy can change on a dime. I'm thinking back to 2008 with the housing crisis. That only took a couple of weeks for that to cascade into the Great Recession, as they call it. We've had a lot of those over the years, but they always got different names for them. But, with a presidential election coming up, election years were notoriously bad for economic downturns. And with the prices of everything, I've seen things, and just in my local area here, slow down. Contractors aren't getting quite the work that they did a year ago. And, houses that, a house around here a year and a half ago, it went up for sale. There was a for sale sign on it for like 5 days. And now there's houses around where we live here that have been for sale all summer, and they're just not selling now because, whatever, the price is too high or whatever. And there is just always that potential for some type of economic thing to go wrong. Somebody gets sick, or, companies shut down all the time, lay people off. The economy doesn't have to be bad for that stuff to happen. So the ability to put aside a little money for whenever things are going to go wrong, that's important too, because you got to still pay your bills. And, if you're behind on bills and then the economy crashes, you're even in a worse situation than what you were before. So it's not just always about food and water. Sometimes it's about economics and stuff too when it comes to preparedness. But I just wanted to talk about these things. Like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of stuff that I'm watching, and hopefully none of the stuff turns into any type of catastrophic problem, but it always has that potential, and that potential for chaos now has never been greater in my mind. So anyways, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys are all doing well out there in YouTube preparedness land. But you guys take care this week, and I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys take care.